Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Abby and I moved from Australia to France over a year and a half ago now. That is crazy. Anyway, I wanted to make a silly little YouTube video about the things I love and hate about living in France, and I hope that this video can help you if maybe you're considering moving to France, and just give you some more like real information about things that are great and things that kind of suck here. I'm gonna talk about the things I love and then I'm gonna follow it with something I hate. I'm always one of those people that want to know the good news before the bad news. So let's get started with the first thing I love, which is the food and wine. It's safe to say that I have absolutely fallen in love with the food and wine here in France. You guys would definitely know that if you're watching my life in France videos, but I am absolutely obsessed. It's all about cheese for me these days. My favorite food in terms of cheese is definitely fondue. I absolutely love it. It's a traditional French meal, which is essentially just like a pot of cheese with some mushrooms inside, and then you get bread and you just dip it in and eat it like that. For an Australian, it sounds kind of weird at the beginning and I was definitely skeptical, but you guys absolutely have to try it. And as for the wine, I feel like I've been learning so much about wine since I've been living here. They have different regions, different grapes, all of that kind of stuff. France has a lot of specific wine shops. The wine is cheap in these shops and there's always someone there to help you like to find the kind of wine that fits your taste. And I really love that that is just such a Frenchy thing that I'm able to do in my everyday life. I guess I'm starting to sound like a bit of an alcoholic, but I can assure you we're not there yet. Anyway, let's move on to something that I hate. French bureaucracy. An absolute nightmare. You guys know that I've renewed my visa in France and the whole process was just an absolute mess. Oh my god, French visa bureaucracy is just such a nightmare. So it turns out I didn't even need to renew my visa today. Even now, weeks after I know I've been approved for the visa, I'm still waiting for that approval to come in the mail. I haven't received a message or an email from anyone. I'm just like left in the dark with this, and it's so typical of French bureaucracy. Like for example, when I was at the prefecture, I was asking them questions about like potentially staying a little bit longer and then just transferring to a regular tourist visa. Could I stay a couple of extra weeks on that visa? And their reply was just, I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You're the prefecture, you're the bureaucracy, like tell me the facts. But they just couldn't. So it's just like there's not one box for everyone. Like there's different rules for different people and it like seems to chop and change depending on your situation. Like one person will go in and they'll have all the documents, and then another person will go in for their visa renewal and then the person will like demand like all these different other documents. Also, French bureaucracy is not just something that expats hate. I've spoken to so many French people and they are facing the exact same nightmare that is French bureaucracy as we expats are. So yeah, that just sucks. One of the things that I love about living in France is I've been able to try so many new sports. So for example, in the summer I was learning to wakeboard, and now that it's winter I'm absolutely addicted to snowboarding. And I think I'm really lucky in terms of the location. I'm living in Annecy, and in the center of the town there's a big lake, and then we're surrounded by mountains and there are so many things to do. Like I've been able to go dog sledding and paragliding, and these kind of experiences are really expensive things to do, but I'm just one of those people that saves money to invest in like experiences such as this. And I'm just overall like just love the fact that I've been able to try so many new things and get outside my comfort zone and learn different skills, which I definitely wouldn't have been able to do in Australia. Something that I really hate hate is just that I've been experiencing feelings of loneliness and isolation like I've never felt in my life before. And I think that happens if you move to a new city, but it's heightened if you're moving from one side of the world to the other, not being able to speak the language, not knowing very many people. I feel like I've really struggled with loneliness and feeling isolated, which I think is really normal, and I've really been opening up more about that on my channel, and I just feel bad and I want to share with you guys and be really honest about what's been going on. I don't want to sugarcoat it, you know, it really does suck sometimes because I'm feeling like this. I've relied on my boyfriend so much to like get me through these times, which is so unlike me. Like, I'm a very independent person and I don't want to have to ever rely on anyone else. And I think for the first time in my life, because I'm feeling like this in this new country, I'm just, you know, relying on him way more than I ever would have. I love the location of France itself. Like, everything else in Europe is so accessible. Now, I say this and I've only left the country once to drive 3 hours to Milan, but in my defense, COVID has really put a stop to all travel plans. I'm gonna keep that in the video. But I'm really keen for this summer. I have some trips planned, which of course I will be vlogging, and I'm just so excited to travel to some new places again in Europe. And the best thing is, flights are so cheap. You can go to another country for 40 euros. Like, that is just mind-blowing for me as an Australian. And when I lived in Italy back in 2018, I really took advantage of this and I traveled a lot. I'm really keen to get back into that. Hopefully now that COVID has kind of, I don't know, slowed down, we're learning to live with it and we can travel again. Now, something that I love and hate is the language. I love it because I'm learning so much every single day. I feel that I can finally communicate and understand people with confidence, which is really, really freaking cool. But I remember when I first moved to France, I had so much anxiety about the language. I had this kind of misconception that French people were going to be rude to me because I didn't speak the language, to the point where I was scared to go to the supermarket, scared to go to the bakery and order bread. Now that I'm learning the language, it feels really nice to be able to do those things with confidence. Now, I hate the language because French is notoriously so difficult to learn in terms of the grammar, the vocabulary. It's just like really hard to draw similarities, for me at least, with English. And I think if you are moving to France, I definitely recommend starting to learn the language as soon as possible, because yeah, it can be really isolating not knowing any French. And yeah, I would definitely recommend getting onto it and start your learning as soon as possible. I'm gonna leave a video linked below on ways that I've really found have helped me to improve my French, so maybe that can help you guys too with the language. Now that I live in France, I get to truly experience French culture. Before I moved here, I had so many misconceptions of what French life was like. But now that I'm here, it's just really cool to live it and to see that a lot of the concerns that I have, I didn't even need to have, you know? It's kind of the small things, like in summer, seeing everybody in the terrace, going for an aperitif with your friends, at Christmas, eating a chicken with chestnuts roasted in the oven. It's the small things that I'm living and learning about French culture every day. Like going to the markets on Sundays, going to the boulangerie and getting a pain chocolat. It's just, it's cool. It's really cool to be living it, and to be living it like an actual French person. It's safe to say that I'm becoming more of a Frenchie every single day, like Frenchie Australian, Frenchie Aussie, Aussie Frenchie. This one may or may not come as a surprise to you guys, but in France, everything is closed on Sundays. Like, how inconvenient is that? I guess the whole closing things on Sundays derives from religion, but we are in the 21st century and I'm busy. We're busy. In Australia, like Sunday is the day to go to the supermarket, to do shopping. It's like a relaxing day to get ready for the week. But no, there is none of that in France because everything is closed. It's just become a norm for me to forget to do the shopping on Saturday, and then like come Sunday, I'm eating bread with jam. Questionable whether I have butter left or not. But hey, if that's something I hate about living in France, you know, we're not doing too bad. It can't be that bad if that's one of the biggest things that comes to mind when I think about I hate France. So there you have it, guys. That is my little list. Let me know if you want me to do more videos similar to this, just like talking about France, and I'll do it. I hope you guys are having a really good week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!